On today's show,
it's NBA season preview time, and we're back asking the hard-hitting questions.
can Melo and the Rockets challenge Golden State? Is Doncic a cinch for ROI? And is Nikola Jokic an all-star?
And does LeBron immediately turn the young Lakers into a playoff team?
Part 1 of the Starters 50 Burning Questions starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to part 1 of the Starters NBA season preview. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Taz Mellis.
I still don't have a catchphrase.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Rocking the beard, Lee. And last, certainly not least, the real bearded one. Still, that's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! All right, we are pumped to be back talking a little b-ball with you guys as we gear up for the upcoming NBA season. And to do that, we're once again tackling 50 burning questions. We got a whole lot to get to here. These are action-packed shows, so let's get right to question number 1. Gentlemen, who are the Warriors' biggest challenger in the Western Conference?
In the West, it's got to be the Rockets.
Has to be.
They won 65 games last year, took them to 7 in the Western Conference Finals. And I don't think they're a very different team this year. Yeah, Trevor Ariza goes. He played a lot of minutes for them in a very shallow lineup because they don't play a lot of guys, and he's a very good defensive player. But they go and get James Ennis to take his spot. And yeah, James Ennis is not a big name in this league, but the best defensive wing that they could go get. They trade Ryan Anderson, who wasn't part of the rotation against the Warriors, in hopes that Marquise Chris with the Suns, a number 8 pick a couple of years ago, can be that backup guy. Brandon Knight comes in that deal, taking a flyer on him. Hopefully he can get back to being a borderline all-star a couple of years ago. Jeff Bizdelik, their assistant coach, their assistant defensive guru, is gone. All that to say, I don't think they fell off that much. I think their biggest problem is that the Warriors got better with DeMarcus Cousins.
And Melo. They got Melo.
Yeah, and
man.
I didn't mention him.
You didn't mention
I didn't
Melo,
mention him because he may or may not be a part of the solution. He may or not be there at the end of the year. I'm not sure. But yeah, the offense is a little bit more versatile with him. I think that's a positive. But I don't think they've changed all that much. Maybe a few less wins. Because last year was just a dream season for them. But I still think they're the second best team in the West.
Yeah, to me, they can still get to the highest peak because their big three, if you will, in Harden, Chris Paul, and Clint Capella just has a little bit higher of a ceiling, I think, than any other team outside of the Warriors in the West. Harden, obviously, is the reigning MVP. Chris Paul, coming back from injury, still plays at an all-star level. And if we weren't in the Western Conference, Clint Capella could probably be an all-star. At the very least, he's got that fringe talent. Definitely, I think they're going to be a little bit worse with the losses of Ariza and Bahamute. But like you're saying, Taz, James Ennis can fill that hole defensively. And points-wise, I think Melo will score some points at the very least for the Rockets.
He might give up a few at the other end, but still. But the way the Rockets play, though, they like to get out and shoot and score. So you know you're going to see that. But let's not forget the Utah Jazz as well. The Utah Jazz won the season series against the Warriors last year 3-1 and won by an average margin of 30 points. So they're a very...
Steph missed a lot of those games.
I only missed one, I believe. But also the Jazz, I mean, last year they were 19-28. And we thought maybe they're not even going to make the playoffs. They ended up making the second round and actually played the Rockets quite well. Rubio wasn't playing there, but defensively, fantastic. When Rudy Gobert is on the floor, best defensive team in the league, well coached. They've got the star power in Donovan Mitchell. I think the Jazz are going to be in for a much better season than they were last season. I think they're a tough team, and they just do actually match up well against the Warriors.
Does that mean to you, the Jazz being the biggest challenger of the Warriors, does that mean like you could see them taking the number 2 seed in the West and like leaping the Rockets in terms of wins? Or is that just like the potential of a playoff matchup because they got the defense there with Gobert and maybe Mitchell takes another step? Or what is it here?
Well, I think they definitely could take that number 2 spot because I think the Rockets might look at what the Warriors did after they won 73 games and realised you don't need to win all that many games during the regular season, get healthy in the playoffs. I know Chris Paul popped his hamstring in Game 5. It was crazy, but that I think maybe the Rockets' MO a little bit this year is like, let's preserve a little bit of our health so we can make a deeper run in the playoffs, where the Jazz haven't been there. So they want to get there. They want to get to that number 2 spot and have home court advantage because it's such a big advantage come playoff time.
I'm excited to see how the Jazz grow. But I think the Rockets have enough crazy in them, and I mean that in a good way, and Chris Paul and PJ Tucker, that they're not going to let off the gas pedal. And maybe, not 65 wins, but I think they know that they need home court advantage if they're going to topple the Warriors. So they're still going to go for that 1 seed.
As is the case with all of these questions, we want to hear from you guys. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the Starters with your answers. Let's get to question number 2 here, though, guys. It's our first award-based question. Who wins Rookie of the Year? And we'll just throw it up there right away, who we have for our picks. Because we're sort of all over the map here, though Trey and I saying Luka Doncic with the Mavs, and then Lee going Knox, and Task going with the number 1 overall pick in DeAndre Ayton. But we'll start with you, Trey. Why Luka?
I think he's just falling really into the perfect situation for a rookie who's going to be one of the more mature prospects coming into the league. He's playing on a really mature team. He's playing with a veteran guy in Dirk Nowitzki who's going to really show him the ropes. Rick Carlisle obviously will put the guys in the right spots to really play to Doncic's strengths. And you think about when he's the primary creator, he's either going to be working alongside Dirk, maybe the best pick and pop guy you could possibly play with, or DeAndre Jordan, one of the better rim running centers in the league. And then when he's the secondary guy in that flow offense and he can attack off a play made by Dennis Smith Jr., maybe Harrison Barnes, that's going to be even easier for him to be the secondary guy. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Mavs this year.
I hope he has a great year. I'm taking a flyer on Kevin Knox from New York Knicks. I fell in love with him at Summer League, let's be honest. He was great because he was a big guy.
Let's be honest.
And he had a good Summer League body. Now, already in a couple of preseason games, you can see that body's not quite as intimidating as it was in the Summer League.
Right.
But you know what? I think he can score in a variety of ways. He can hit that three-pointer. He can attack the hoop. And it's the New York Knicks. He's going to get an opportunity, especially while Porzingis is still out. We don't really know when he's back. So he could find himself actually being one of their more likely scorers in that team. So I don't really think he's going to win it, but I just hope he has a good season. And as I say, I really enjoyed watching him in Vegas.
You want to talk bodies?
Yes.
I think
Always.
DeAndre Ayton in Summer League looked like a man among boys. And I think even in the preseason, he looks like a man among boys. He is a beast. And I like this pick because he's the first overall pick, so it's probably a good pick. But also because I like the old school idea of DeAndre Ayton. He plays elbows and boxes. He plays down low, but he still has a shot from out there. And I like how they're not expecting him to do a lot in the post. GM Ryan McDonough said he's going to be a rim runner. He's going to play defense. So there's not going to be a lot of pressure on him, but they're going to look for him a lot, as they have done in the preseason, as they have in Summer League, as a rim runner and a DeAndre Jordan type on offense. He's going to add a lot on defense. The Suns don't have a lot going on. So kind of like Kevin Knox, he's going to be a primary option for them.
Yeah, great points. I originally did have Ayton sort of penciled in there because I could see him like flirting with 18 and 10 or numbers like that. But I do worry if we've sort of now, with what we had last year between Simmons and Mitchell, do you have to have wins to win Rookie of the Year? Do you have to really help your team, either get into the playoffs or have a bunch of wins in Simmons' case and really Mitchell's case as well? And will that happen with the Suns? Unlikely. So that's why I lean towards Doncic here, and I'm with you, Trey. And you had some great points too, but I think the Mavs will be better than the Suns. That'll help his case there if he plays. And he doesn't have to be the savior for that franchise as well. There isn't a ton of pressure on him to go out there, maybe like a DeAndre Ayton, and go, all right, go get us 20-10 and try and get us back into the playoffs. There's really not that there with Doncic because of that veteran team there, and even paired up with Dennis Smith Jr. So
What
that's
about
why
the hype
I'll
though
lean
surrounding
towards
him, though?
Oh,
I mean,
definitely tons of hype. And especially people are going to be watching the Trae Young and Doncic because they were traded on draft night. That's going to be a huge storyline. Who's playing well, who's playing better, and all that. But he doesn't need, the Mavs are going to be in a playoff hunt. And that would be a good season, I think, if we get down into, late March and April and they're right there trying to get in. That'd be a good season bouncing back for them. That's why I go Luka.
He's played in a lot of big games in the Euro League, so he's played with pressure. I hope he doesn't pull a David Blatt and come to the American media and say, hey, I'm a champ over there.
Yeah.
I played in a lot of big games. That probably won't go with the American. America doesn't care what you did in Europe.
So sadly true. All right. Third question here. This one, it's for the new bearded man here in Lee Ellis. Who's going to lead the league in very solid place?
Wow, third question. This is great. That's
Yeah, right
respect.
to you, right
a
away.
little bit of respect, which I like to see. But actually,
You're finally wearing a shirt that fits.
it's the beard that did it, isn't it? Yeah, no. I'm going actually with those Dallas Mavericks because in years gone by, particularly with Rick Carlisle's flow offense, as you mentioned earlier, that leads to very solid plays because the ball often fizzes around a lot. And they
often fizzes, sure.
It does. And it's like, you know what? Just find the guy who's open. Doesn't matter how many times that ball moves around. Someone gets a good shot off, and they're good shooters. They've got some good perimeter shooters. And also, Doncic, he's actually rumored, I say rumored because we haven't seen him in the NBA, to be a guy with good court vision and make a lot of passes.
He's going to be an unbelievable.
Could he be the new Manu Ginobili of the very solid plays?
Let's just pump the brakes a little there, Trey.
Is this the first time you haven't picked the Spurs for this, by the way? I mean, it's usually the Spurs.
Yeah, the Spurs are certainly the bar setter usually, but obviously with Manu retiring, the Spurs probably won't have as many this year. They've still got Pau Gasol, who's beautiful pass. The ball still fizzes around, but the Mavs are always in contention. They had 4 very solid plays last year, and I think this year is going to be another beautiful year for them.
Oh, beautiful year. All right. Well, he's got the Mavs with very solid plays. Let's hear from you guys on Twitter. #TheStarters. Lots more still to come on the show tonight. When we return, those burning questions continue, including whether LeBron can get the Lakers back to the playoffs right away. Don't go anywhere. You're watching The Starters NBA season preview. Back with the starters. 50 burning questions continue here, and we are into the up-down report. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Let's see those on Twitter as well. First one, guys, is a good one. Are you up or down on the Lakers making the playoffs this year?
This question is nuts.
Wow.
Of course they're making the postseason.
That's a lock in the West, the loaded West.
It is a loaded West, and there are going to be some teams that are disappointed that don't make playoffs. But LeBron James is on this team.
That's true.
Say no more.
That's it. He led a team in Cleveland to 50 wins last year. Yes, it's the East, but they didn't have a very deep team whatsoever. This team is led by LeBron. And I watch preseason basketball, and I look at LeBron James, and I don't know if it's just sort of our expectancy of something to change every year. I watch LeBron and think, maybe he's going to fall off this year. It's year 16. He's still incredible.
Right.
He's incredible. He is the best player in the world.
I like that the Lakers are taking a new approach with LeBron. For the past few seasons, we've seen kind of specialists around him and shooters where LeBron is doing most everything on the court to get almost everybody their shots. This is not going to be the case with the Lakers this year. I think the battle for LeBron now is going to be kind of keeping guys in line, keeping guys in the right spots so not everybody's freelancing the whole time. But I think that could be
Freelance.
sort of...
Freelance
exactly
Stevenson.
right. Lance Stevenson's not waiting around for LeBron to kick him the ball outside. You know what I mean? It should be an invigorating season for LeBron. He should be a little bit more engaged. And if he doesn't have to do anything, that's probably bad news for the Western Conference. It would be very strange, though, to go from 8 straight finals out of the playoffs. Can you imagine?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they have to aim for third place at worst, because then they will only face the Warriors in the finals, assuming everything goes to plan. In the conference finals, that is, because at least we're going to get not LeBron or not the Warriors in the finals, which is crazy to think about it this year. But,
Right.
I mean, I think you want to see those two teams battle pretty strongly into the season and maybe make the finals again, just to see how LeBron goes up against the Warriors this time with a different lineup, with some younger players and with some other guys who can just create for themselves.
Okay. Sounds like a silly question I asked you. You guys
Yeah.
are all
Yeah,
in.
come on.
LeBron's stats might fall off a little bit because Lonzo will have the ball and Rondo will have the ball a little bit more, but in the end, he's going to have the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And that's a good sign.
They don't have a lot of centers right now on this
That's a
team.
problem.
And
That's a
this
big problem.
And this could be a completely different team also when we get around to the trade deadline.
They can't rebound.
They've done that before with LeBron's teams. Yeah, I think they're going to be fine scoring. Will they be able to stop people? That might be a concern here, especially if LeBron
sure.
is going to be playing center or that's Kuzma playing center. You know, McGee is really their only real center right now. There's some worry there, but right now in preseason they're trying to push this ball up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah,
Trying to
and
score.
how will LeBron be throughout the season if they keep pushing?
Yeah.
He took possessions off, with the Cavs defensively, but that team couldn't stop anybody either, and they won 50 games.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, next one here, guys. Up or down? Will the Hawks be the NBA's worst team? Thumbs up, they are. Thumbs down, they are
we
not.
heard some groans in the studio here in Atlanta.
Yeah, we are in Atlanta. Okay, Trey says, yeah, they're going to be the worst.
I'm going up just because I feel like it's going to be between them, perhaps the Knicks, the Kings, and the Suns, and the Hawks are just a little bit further behind in their rebuilding program. This is maybe you could count year 2, and they're turning the ball over to Trae Young, who just turned 20 years old. He's going to be kind of the main determinant for wins for them this season, and as a high-risk, high-reward player, that's going to be a lot of high risks, I have a feel, come season time, just because, as a 20-year-old being the point guard, it's going to be really tough adjusting to the NBA, but that's kind of the point for the Hawks right now. So as long as he has a fun season, it's a success in Atlanta.
Throw in a rookie head coach as well, so there's going to be a lot of growth and development. They're positive things you say about a team, but they are certainly going to struggle to have wins. But John Collins, we saw him at Summer League. He looks like he's going to take a step up this year. He's knocking down the three-pointer. So there's certainly some positive signs, but I think this year is going to be a lot of pain down at the Fortress.
Yeah, I think they won't be the worst team. Jeremy Lin's probably good for a few wins. There'll be a little hot Jeremy Lin streak. Vince is probably good for half a win. I don't know.
There's a couple of sanities right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sanity
a lot
and
of
Vince, yeah.
sanities happening. Oh, Len sanity, actually. Alex Len is on the roster. Somebody said that once about him. So there's a lot of sanities.
Okay, but if it's not the Hawks, is it a team like the Magic? Is it is it the Suns? Is that a lock?
Yeah,
The
Kings or Magic, one of them for me.
Okay, and is that because do you look to the West because they're going to be playing a lot better teams night in and night out than maybe a team like the Hawks or even the Magic? And I'm talking obviously about the Kings here and the Suns. Does that come into play?
I think that's a part of it for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean-
There are no pushovers out west other than the Kings and the Suns probably.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
I think as well, Bagley is going to be good there for the Kings, but again, they've just got so many young players and so many sort of misfit pieces that they just haven't been able to get it together for such a long time. I don't think they're going to all of a sudden turn it around overnight. I think they should be better than they were last year, but they're still a long way from challenging for the playoffs anyway.
All right, next question here. Up or down? Nikola Jokic making his first All-Star team.
Yeah, give it.
Thumbs up, thumbs up. Trey says no. Why? Let's start with you guys. Why is he, in your opinion, sort of like a lock to make it?
I'm positive the Nuggets are going to have a good year. They're going to have that breakout year. They're making the postseason. I think Isaiah Thomas comes in that locker room and gives them a bunch of swagger. This team is just too good to not make the postseason. And you look up and down the teams that should make the playoffs in the Western Conference, and their forwards, and Jokic is one of the top 7.
Right.
7 forwards get picked. He's got to make it. I think he's too good not to. If you look at sort of the top row here, LeBron, Durant, Davis, they're making it. I think LaMarcus Aldridge,
That's a question mark.
His
Yeah.
spot might be taken by DeMar DeRozan, even if they're up in the standings. So we got 3 there for me. Paul George could make it. 4, Draymond, 5, Towns. But I think Jokic should be part of it.
He's in the mix, there's no doubt. But to me, he's going to be in the Damian Lillard spot where we're like, yeah, he's one of the top 6 or 7, but usually he happens to be 6 or 7. Lillard got left off the All-Star team 2 years in a row because his team, the Blazers, started really slow. That has been the case for Nikola Jokic so far in his career. He was great after the All-Star game last year, 21 and 11 with still 6 assists. If he can do that at the beginning of the season, for sure, he's a lock for the All-Star game. But if he comes out and again, like he has done in the first 3 seasons of his career and is a slow starter, then he's going to be behind the 8 ball when it comes to selection time.
I think what does go in his advantage, though, is it's going to be the coach's vote that gets him in, and the coaches do respect his game. They know he's a modern big. He can step out and hit the 3. He's got great hands. He shares the ball. He can go down low and score. And again, it does come down to how well the Nuggets start. Trey's got a point there. They can't be, well below 500 early on. But I think they also want to reward Jokic because they do see how tough a matchup he is when they have to go against him. So I think that helps his case. He's obviously not going to get voted in above Kevin Durant and
The
LeBron and those
superstar
guys.
I think the overlooked guy who's overlooked every year is Paul Millsap is starting healthy with that team. He should help them a lot. And Nikola Jokic is drinking less Pepsi this year. That's what I've heard.
Good start. Good start. All right, final one here, guys, in up down. Will the starters hit 50 wedgies this season?
Will we do it?
Will we do it again? We did it, 2 years ago, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Last year was horrible. We only got to 40. Everybody's positive Pete's.
Sure.
Hey, it's the first show of the season, man. Everything's positive. It's going to be a great season. I think we're going to break the record. We're going to get 53 wedgies this year.
Wow, 53.
I'm going to have some beautiful wedgies.
Yeah, but beautiful wedgies, yeah.
I mean, we should get more wedgies. It feels like there's a lot more three-pointers every year. More and more
Definitely,
three-point
definitely.
shots going up, and that sort of helps your
Then
wedgie
what,
chances.
then what happened last year?
Well, I don't know.
The down
Taz,
year.
I'm not
It was
sure.
a down year.
They didn't juice the balls last year. 2 years before the balls were juiced. This year, juicing again.
All right. as
We
you
got off
see-
to a slow start too last year.
Yeah, that's fine. Will we get to 50? Let us know. Hashtag the starters. All right, when we return, our NBA season preview, it steps into the crossfire. Oh, yes. We're going to debate the NBA's best rivalry and a whole lot more. It's Tass versus Skeets. Here we go.
Starter's best rivalry right there.
Welcome to Crossfire. Here's how it works. I'm going to give these 2 guys 3 questions, and at the end of it all, I will declare a winner. Guys, here we go. Question 1. There are so many things that makes this league of ours the best in the world. The players, the teams, and of course, the dramas. But what is the best rivalry in our league? Here we go.
Well, in today's NBA, where seemingly everyone loves each other, it's nice to have some real animosity between 2 teams, which is why I'm going with the Wizards and the Celtics. They dislike each other, and I'm all here for it. We've had Smart and Beal get into it before. John Wall got booped on the nose. We had the funeral game. And oh yeah, we got the Morris twins, 1 on each team. Markieff Morris already saying that the Celtics are not better than the Wizards. I love it. I hope they meet again in the playoffs.
I love a good boop, but I think Joel Embiid versus anyone is the best rivalry in the game. He called out Aaron Baines' man bun. He called out Mo Bamba in the preseason even. He made Hassan Whiteside disappear from the NBA circle last year. Andre Drummond, when he fouled out, having fun with his crowd there. Even DeAndre Ayton, when he was drafted, Joel Embiid called him out. Before he stepped onto the floor, he said, "Don't compare Ayton to me. I play defense." And the best part about it, he backs it up. Joel Embiid versus anybody.
Interesting.
Good answers, good answers. Okay, question 2. The NBA also loves a good redemption story. Seeing a player who is down and out make a comeback to the league and be a contributor on a team. Who will have the best comeback story this season? Here we go.
I'm cheering for Isaiah Thomas in Denver. And I think he'll have a comeback story, not so much for his play, but I think his reputation will be rehabilitated because that locker room is extremely quiet. Mike Malone said you could hear a pin drop in that locker room, but since he's come there in training camp already, you just hear him yapping. I think his swagger will help them get back to the postseason. There'll be a lot of stories written about Isaiah Thomas helping them on the court, but also in the locker room. Go IT.
I'm not saying this just because it's Canadian Thanksgiving. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. But I'm going Andrew Wiggins for comeback story of this season. Wiggins Island is the new Waiters Island, all right? Everybody got off of Wiggins Island. They were gone. They gave up hope. I don't give up hope. You know, it's going to be a new situation there in Minnesota. He's got his max contract. Now is the time for him to really show up and prove that he can be a star player in this league. I think he can get back to being that 23-point-per-game scorer. Hopefully he adds a little defense to that as well. But I'm ready for Wiggins to turn this around.
Okay, here we go.
You're skeptical.
I'm skeptical on Canadian Thanksgiving. I won't call you out,
right,
though.
thank you.
Okay, question 3. When the games aren't being played on the court, there's a competition going on offline, but on our devices. So who is the league's social media MVP? Here we go.
Well, Tass sort of basically already said it. Joel Embiid is the king of social media.
He's good.
Case closed. And enjoy it now, because in a couple years, everybody's going to hate him. You can see it coming. But look at this guy's summer. Stepping to Ronda Rousey, had some fun as a tourist
Is that
in
Photoshop?
Paris. No, I believe not. And then my favorite, this photo, with the caption, laying out these bricks before the season starts so I don't miss game-tying shots in the playoffs. Hilarious, self-deprecating. I go with Embiid.
He's great, but I think the king of the league, LeBron James, also the king of social media. He will speak out on any issue whatsoever. Also, he has great reach. Look at that stat. More Twitter followers than basically everybody combined. Also, engagement. We know social media is about engagement, and LeBron James leads the league in engagement.
What does that even mean?
I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever.
Well, you can engage with the championship
Wow.
belt there, Tassie. Great start to the year. Well done.
Amazing. It's going to be a great year, beautiful belt.
Good win. Lots more still to come on the Starters NBA season preview. Don't go anywhere. Tonight on NBA TV, a little preseason action between the Wizards and the Knicks. That one gets underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. But coming up tomorrow on NBA TV, it's part 2 of the Starters NBA season preview series. We'll tackle such questions such as, who is the best team in the East? Is it the Celtics, Raptors, Sixers? Is LeBron the best player in the NBA? And who looks weirdest in their new uniform? Also, Tass will defend his Crossfire belt. By the way, one of the Crossfire questions, best rivalry, is the new rivalry who has the best beard between Trey Kirby, Lee, and maybe even Tass still in the mix?
No, I'm out of it.
What inspired that? Are you going to keep this throughout the season here?
I'm going to keep mine as long as Klay Thompson keeps his.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you know, he's had his in the preseason. Looks great.
There you go.
Same
All right.
with you.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, we got 4 more previews. Check them out.
Brace the night, people.